I had a temporary rating with the State Department to go with a research team to Japan to do research on the Japanese prisoners of war. On the ship going over, the truce was declared, and there was a stipulation that there would be an exchange of prisoners within 10 days. So by the time my work was to be with the Japanese prisoners, along with the others on the microbiology team, and so with the exchange, my work was simply cut. So they asked me to stay on in Japan temporarily to release lab officers to come back with our prisoners who were coming back by troop ship, because we couldn't let our prisoners come back to the U.S. carrying all types of infectious diseases. So I was in Japan for a very limited time.
But how long?
I was close to 6 months.
When did you go over there?
It was in the middle 50s. I can't, if I were prepared, I'd know the year, but I'm not well prepared. But anyway, it turned out instead of working with the bacteria that I was normally supposed to work with, I ended up working with anaerobic bacteria, which were common infections in war wounds, and had a great time. I didn't have very much money, but I wanted to spend every cent I had seeing what I could see of Japan. And I think I saw a lot. I went to both two major islands. Of course, I was stationed in Tokyo. I didn't go to Hokkaido because Hokkaido was not a friendly, and still not friendly with the Americans. But there were some sites I wanted to see. I went to the religious site up in Nikko in the mountains, and then on my wish list was to see Mount Fujiyama a little closer. And I had two lady friends, one about my age and one a little bit older, in her 40s. And we decided that we were going down to the Fujiyama Hotel, stay a weekend, and see if we could climb Mount Fuji. And Mount Fuji is a real tourist attraction in Japan. Looking it up on the computer now, they're really making a super tourist attraction of it. But when I was there, it was in the early stages, and it was a little rougher and entirely different from going there now, according to the computer. But anyway, we were warned, you better be prepared. Walk, get exercise, build your muscles up, get your hiking boots, carry something warm, take as little as possible, but take along energy bars, things to eat along the way, because there'll be nothing to eat and it'll be a long climb. So we did. We walked the parks in Japan, and we walked the streets, and we thought we were well prepared as far as our young muscles were concerned. And then we went down to the hotel and made arrangements to climb Mount Fuji. We started out from the base of the mountain. Now, Mount Fuji is the highest mountain in Japan, 12,402 feet high. And after July, usually you can't climb because of the snow. The last week in July is about the end of the tourist season. And this was the last week in July. We started out, I think, at the base of the mountain about 3 o'clock in the afternoon. And they give you a Fuji stick, which is about a 6-foot pole stick, and there were supposed to be 10 stations where you could stop for just a few minutes, and they would stamp your Fuji stick to show that you had come this
Let's
far.
back up a little bit here. How did you get to the mountain? You take the train?
Oh,
from
we
Tokyo?
took one of those fast 100 miles an hour train
Okay.
down to the hotel,
And that was the Fuji Hotel.
the Fujiyama Hotel,
Hotel.
and they took us by auto. We had to make arrangements, and we each of the three girls had a guide. We had our own guide, and we started out at Station 1 on horseback, and we could ride Station 1. We stopped at 2, and they stamped our Fuji stick with some type of iron, a burning hot instrument.
They branded it.
Branded it, right, and it showed in Japanese that we had been to Station 1. And then we went on to Station 2 and Station 3 as on horseback, and that, of course, was easy on us. But then, when we got off the horse, the climb was up to us, and it was a little more difficult, believe you me, even though we thought we were well prepared. When we got, and again, we started out at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. This was about an 8-hour or more climb for the three ladies, our three girls. Probably it was more like 9 hours, but the usual average time to reach the top is 8 hours. We went on, and they told us that if we would stick it out until we got to Station 7, there would be a rest stop in which we could climb into their futons or sleeping bags or whatever and rest for an hour, and it might have been 2 hours, I'm not sure.
Be like 11 o'clock at night?
But
Like
it started at 3, yeah, probably. But anyway, it was dark, and we were to carry a flashlight along with our energy bars, and as little as possible, except we all had a jacket because we knew the night would be quite cool. And when we got to Station 7, they had a huge pot of rice cooking. They had rice wine, which is served warm, which really warms you up, and the sleeping bags. And you slept side by side, no matter whether it was man, woman, woman, man, or three women. And we didn't think we'd get in, but we did, believe you me, after that much of a climb. Got in, and were really grateful to lie down for a few minutes and rest. And then we could see that piping hot rice. And I was a microbiologist, and I knew very well I was not going to eat any of their rice or drink any of their rice wine. But that was the best rice I've ever had in all my life. It was beyond belief good. And the rice wine, served warm, put us right to sleep in no time. And then all of a sudden, somebody was punching us. Get up, get up, get up. And we got up. Our guide was on the ball. And we got up and started out again. And this time the climb was much steeper. Now the climb was not just going over huge boulders or something like that. They were cinder blocks, and they were large stones. They were not little gravel-like and not easy to walk on. And sometimes you'd sort of stumble on your foot with a stone would move. Oh, the Fuji stick was absolutely necessary. You couldn't have climbed it without a stick. And the climb, of course, was steeper and steeper. 7, just 3 to go. And the point in Japan was to get to the top to see the sunrise. And I jumped into the sunrise. It was so pretty. But anyway, from the 7th station to the 10th, it was so steep that I could not carry my handbag with my goodies in it. I couldn't even carry my flashlight. So my poor guide was carrying my equipment, and trying to highlight what was in front of me with one flashlight, and he was using his as well. But we did get to the top just a few minutes before the sunrise. The crater was surprisingly large. And we were really proud, and really you were so excited you weren't even tired, but your body was tired. And then after we visited at the top for maybe an hour, walking around, and they had some kind of a little stand selling a few little odds and ends up there, but we were not willing to take one extra item for the weight back down. And literally descending is worse than coming up. So there was a big decision: go back the way we came, or come down what they call the cinder trail. Now the cinder trail was a space about 15 feet or more, maybe 20 feet wide, where the active volcano, what do you call it? Lava flowed and made it sort of smooth. And you could see this track. It was just so smooth, and it looked so easy. But they told us that the day before, someone had fallen in the cinder trail and had broken an arm, and they had to have medical attention. But going back the way we came was just out of reason. So we decided to go the cinder trail. What an experience! And they told us what to do. It was sort of like skating. You'd take a step and slide, and take another step and slide, and the more you went, 3 or 4 steps, the faster you got. If you were to go too fast and couldn't stop, you got into a roll, and you would roll down. So they told us, when you take about 3 steps and you're going pretty fast, sit down real quick, get your bearings, and then get up again. Do it if it takes 3 more steps or more, but to not get into too fast a pace going down. We got back down we didn't stop by any stations going down, of course, except when we got to 3. And then when we got to 3, we got back on our horses. And what an easy ride we had down.
You met up with your friend who you left at Station 7.
I can't remember whether she waited for us or whether she went on back to the motel. That night there was supposed to be a dance at the motel, and of course we were young, and we were certainly going to the dance. And everybody at the motel knew that but getting back to the hotel, we were like zombies. We were just could walk, we could barely move our legs, arms, anything else. And they told us, you must go into the Japanese saunas, the baths. Now the Japanese have big saunas, and they go in, the whole family goes in, and they go in the nude. And the 3 of us said, well, we can't go in with other people. And so we rented the whole sauna. And the 3 of us went in, but we had on some underclothes. And we stayed in the allotted time in the hot tubs. And then they said, you must get a massage. And we said, oh my goodness. And of course the masseuse was a Japanese man. And so we went to the tables, and we still had on some underclothes, and the Japanese man could barely speak English, but he could communicate enough that we knew what he was meaning. And he started the massage, for the first massage I'd ever had, and he said, as I was lying on my stomach, he was sort of pulling at some silk object near the top and said, I do better without this. So I finally did without this and had the full massage. It, I'm sure, helped. But after the hot bath and the massage, and he did go from head to toe, we thought we might survive, and we went on that evening. We dressed and went to the dance. But we were feeling the effects of the climb, and we were pretty stiff. I'm sure we were hard to lead on the dance floor. But and we spent, I think, a couple of nights at Mount Fujiyama, which was quite a wonderful experience. I have wanted to
Quit hitting the microphone.
One of the things that I have wanted to see and do, I want to see, I don't care how much I'm discouraged, I still want to see the pyramids. Everybody says, you'll be so disappointed. I don't care. I want to see them. And another thing that I have wanted to see, and I never have been to the pyramids, haven't been to Egypt, I want to see the Taj Mahal.
Good